Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are live on YouTube and there is no echo. Rise and shine and give God the glory. Okay. We are here, day two, and we are going to kick off in 3 minutes. And I wanted to just hop on here just to make sure everything is good. Y'all can hear me, all of the things. I am going to hop on live as well so I can monitor the chat today. Good morning. Come on in. Come on and join me. Come on in. Say good morning. Say hello to the people. We are up. We are live. There is no echo. We thank God. We thank God. Today is a beautiful day. We are up. We are live. My children are up and they are live. And so I'm going to show y'all how motherhood is not the excuse. So if y'all hear my 1-year-old in the background singing, hey, yeah, yeah, hey, it is what it is, okay? It is what it is because the nanny don't come until 9 a.m. She does not arrive until 9 o'clock this morning. But we move. We move. So good morning, everyone. I'm not gonna start until 8 because that's what I told the people. But I wanted to be sure that everything was up and running. So I'm going to give everyone time to come in and I will hop back on. Good morning, everyone. I'm just waiting until 8 o'clock to start. Today is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it. The morning kickoff calls are for us to set our intention for the day, for us to prepare even for the evening sessions, for us to just set our minds on the main thing, right? So it is my prayer that you all have already had your personal devotion times or that you're going to do it right after this.
It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock. Let's go. Okay, Siri, thank you for the mention because I don't know how to turn her off. But I appreciate the hourly reminders. Okay. And so, good morning, y'all. It's official. It's 8 o'clock. Welcome to day two of the Build Without Burnout 3-day reset. I am excited to kick off this morning's session. I am Ebony for those of you all who missed me on last night's session. Day one morning kickoff, Diana, she literally set the tone for the reset as it relates to all the things. Specifically, she went over Exodus 18, and you can watch the replay on YouTube for a limited time. So make sure you go and watch day one's morning kickoff call. And today we're really getting into alignment. So day one is all about awareness, where we identify some of those red flags. And let me kick off this note taker. Let me kick off the note taker if I can. Oh, y'all probably can't even see it. Okay, it is well. Okay. Yes. And so day two is all about alignment. Day one is about awareness. So we identify, warning signs and red flags. We identify all of the roles, whether visible or invisible, that we play in life and business. And then on day two, we're talking about alignment, divine alignment, prioritization. In the PM session, we'll be talking about the calendar hack that I use with my clients that literally saves them 10 to 15 hours of their week. It identifies where they actually do got the time that they say they didn't have. And we are able to align their week with the things that they're supposed to be doing, right? Not a lot of busy work because we talked about the rocking horse last night. And for those of you who didn't catch it, the rocking horse, it stays in motion, but it makes no progress. It stays in motion, but it bears no fruit, right? And so today, as we talk about alignment, we are going to deal with this issue of the rocking horse syndrome. Okay. And so I want to start off with the story of Mary and Martha, right? Because many of us are familiar with the story in Luke chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. And we know the story and we have our own thoughts on Mary. We have our own thoughts on Martha. Some of us truly do believe that Mary should have helped, right? Some of us believe that it was Mary's responsibility, right? They're sisters. They're a team. They're a duo, right? Imagine many of us are like, just like Martha, like, Mary, what you doing? If we picture Mary as a teammate and you're busy, you're doing all of the work, and your teammate is over there just strategizing, just getting wisdom, right? Just sitting down, being still, and you over here working, you know, crazy hours, and they're going to sleep at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and you're like, what is going on? I stayed up to midnight, and my teammate is over here sleeping good 8 to 10 hours a night. I don't get it, right? And so we start showing up as Martha. And I want to walk y'all through this story because no matter what you believe about the story, the word is true, right? No matter how you interpret it, it's true. The word, not your interpretation. But Luke chapter 10, verses 38, and it starts off by saying how Martha welcomed Jesus into her home. Okay. Let's just stop there because good morning, good morning. I need to put y'all over here because I can't even see y'all. Let's just stop there, right? Because the truth of the matter, let me tell y'all, when I know somebody is coming over, my house can be clean, okay? Organized, clean, up to par for company, right? But when I know someone is planning to come into my house, I go to another level, right? I'm trying to make it more clean, making sure, there's no trash in the trash cans, like it's a fresh trash. I'm trying to make sure things are in order because you don't want everybody at your house any kind of way, right? For all of the different reasons. And so you want to make sure I have three boys. And so we know what their bathroom looks like. I'm like the hit the water. Hit the water. Do not pee on my floor. Do not pee on my wall. Do not pee on the tissue that is right there. Aim for the water. Like, we have to make this a game. And so when company comes, I'm like, okay, we got to do the bathroom. Is it clean? Does it smell like pee? Right? All of those things. Listen, this is just real life boy mom over here. Can we be transparent? Okay. And so I'm thinking about all of those things because I want my house to be excellent, right? We talked about that yesterday, like how sometimes we over function out of excellence, like this idea or this goal to be excellent. And so what we don't, right, that's your life. Listen, I know. And so what we don't consider sometimes is that this was Martha's house, right? It didn't say that it was Mary's house. It specifically said that Martha welcomed Jesus into her house. And when it's your house, when it's your business, there's a different level of expectation. If y'all hear my children in the back, The nanny don't come till 9. So if you missed it, we are up. We are up and we are on day 2 of the morning kickoff session. And not only did my 1-year-old wake up 10 minutes before the session started, but my 5-year-old did as well. And them two together is a whole nother thing, especially when my oldest is not there to keep them settled. And so we're gonna pray that the angels will go and support them and play with them and engage with them, and keep them calm as possible. And I'm going to try to get through this as quickly but as efficient as possible. Um, and so if you hear them screaming or singing or humming in the background, it's well, they're fine. Okay. And if my 1-year-old gets too out of control and he's crying, I'll go get him and put him on my hip and we gonna still rock this out. Okay. So this is Martha's house, and we have to understand that when it's our house, we have a different expectation, right? We have a different standard. And listen, this is Jesus. Okay. This isn't no anybody coming to the house. This isn't just your best friend, right? Who you can be like, my house is your house. You go in the refrigerator to get your own water. Like, this is not her. This is Jesus himself coming into Martha's house. And Martha's like, oh, I gotta prepare. What do you need? She's literally preparing necessities, right? Many of us call it hospitality, right? What she was doing was not a bad thing. She was serving. And so if you go to verse 39, it says, Sis Mary, right? Her sister Mary, she was sitting at Jesus's feet. Okay. She was sitting at Jesus's feet and she was listening. She was hearing his word. Okay. She was, she had her ear toward the one, right? And we know that Mary, Martha, and Lazarus were considered friends of Jesus, right? And so sometimes, you know, a friend, if we're looking at him like, he a friend, right? We would be relaxed, but this wasn't no any kind of friend, right? This wasn't that friend where you like, girl, my house mess, come on in. It is, you probably used to it. Like, this is not that. This is not that situation. And so Sister Mary, she's sitting at the feet of Jesus and she's hearing his word. And Martha got a problem with that, right? Martha feels some type of way, like most of us would feel if we got company coming over and our spouse is sitting down, like, you sitting down listening to worship music. What are you doing? The people gonna be here in 15 minutes. Why are you sitting down? Company is coming over and your children are playing with toys, making a bigger mess, and you're like, what are you doing? Clean up. Get this stuff in order. Literally, before my husband left, because the nanny comes, I'm like, hey, before you go, put the water in the refrigerator, please. Like, he's taking the trash from outside because they do the pickup for the trash, and he has to bring it back in the house. He's like, what else do you need? And I'm like, all of these things, right? Preparation. Because I'm under the impression that preparation shows expectation. Okay. And so Mary sitting down, listening to the word, right? She's literally beholding the word, listening to the word. She really getting double portion. And Martha is over here distracted, it says. Cumbered in another translation. She's distracted because there was much serving to do. There was much hospitality to be done. And so it says Martha was distracted with much serving. She was busy with serving. She was overoccupied with serving. I just need somebody need to catch that one on their own. Like, it was sometimes we don't see service as a distraction because we over spiritualize serving. We over spiritualize hospitality. And so we become so cumbered, right? We become so overcommitted, overoccupied with serving And it doesn't say that it was a bad thing, right? It didn't say that this wasn't a good thing, but she was still distracted. Because let me tell you, in business, in life, every good thing is not the best thing for you to do. Just because it's a good opportunity doesn't mean it's the opportunity that you should take. Just because it good, just because it's good doesn't mean that it's aligned with God's will for you, with God's priorities, with God's plan, with God's timing. So she was distracted by much serving. Some people, we get offended and we get defensive when people say, you serving too much. Go sit down somewhere. What do you mean? This is my service as unto the Lord. And Martha said the exact same thing. This is my service as unto the Lord. She trying to make sure everything is put together. She's trying, you who knows what all she got going on. Making sure the house clean. She's probably trying to prep some appetizers, making sure he good. He's been on a journey. What do you need, Jesus? I'm at your service. You need some water? I got that. Good morning. Good morning. You need water? I have that for you. You hungry? Here's some bread. I don't know what they were eating. Bread, olive oil. Here's some bread and olive oil. Here's some cheese on the side. Right? I don't know if do they have broccoli? I don't know. But she's distracted trying to make sure everything is well. And Mary is she's just sitting there. Sis Mary, she's sitting there eating good, y'all. She eating good from the life giver. And Martha is like, Lord, okay, this I think she was talking to Jesus like this. Lord, do you not care? Do you not care that my sister? Because sometimes we like to think that it was like, Lord, my Lord, do you not care, my Lord, that my sister Mary is here? No, I think she was like, Lord. At this point, it says that she was distracted, and then it goes on to say she was frustrated. She was feeling some type of way. We talked about maybe it was on the VIP call last night. We talked about invisible resentment. And this invisible resentment is when you're feeling like you're doing all of the things and someone else isn't carrying the weight, right? Or you overcommitted to something, and when you're not properly compensated for your overcommitment, when you're not recognized in the way that you hope for all of the things that you're doing, you're resentful, right? It's an invisible resentment because you may not say anything about it, but you thought something about it. You felt some type of way about it. And so here Martha is like, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me? She felt rejected. She felt abandoned. My sister has left me. And it said she left me to serve by myself. This why you can't be mad when you doing too much and somebody else is chilling because of this story. She said, do you not care that my sister Mary has left me alone, left me to serve by myself? She left me. She said, then she told Jesus what to do. She said, therefore, tell her to help me. Because first of all, Martha, who you think you talking to? This how you know when somebody is in their flesh, when they frustrated, they said enough is enough. Martha said, I said Mary. Martha said enough is enough, right? She's like, tell her to help me, Jesus. I'm over here doing all of this by myself, and she's sitting at your feet. The audacity of Martha. Some of us be in our prayer closets like, Jesus, let me tell you what this person did. Let me tell you, they over here, they didn't help me with nothing today. Don't get me started on us married women. Lord, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and he over there on a prayer call. You just frustrated. Lord, tell him to help me. Listen, talking to Jesus like she has no sense left. Listen, sis, I know. I'm just we deal with the wives. Can we deal with the wives? That invisible resentment. And she said, tell her to help me, right? And Jesus, because he's so loving, because he's so kind, because he understands, because he's merciful. This is what he responds to Martha. Because he say, because we would have been like, Martha, who you think you talking to? But he not us, right? He not us. And he didn't say, Martha, first of all, who you, because a lot of us, especially, can we just talk about leadership right quick? Because we're CEOs, we're here to talk about the CEOs doing way too much. And so Martha had been an employee, a team member, a contractor, and she see you over there with your foot kicked up on the desk, and she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come and help me. And you immediately, who you think you're talking to? Fired. You're out of here. You're done. Right? But we thank God that he's not like us. Right? And his response to Martha was, Martha, he identified her problem. And listen, he reads us for filth so well. He immediately identifies her problem. He says, Martha, you're worried about a lot of things. You're worried and you're troubled about many things. We talked about wearing all the hats yesterday. We talked about over functioning yesterday. We talked about the superwoman complex yesterday. And it says, you are worried. You are anxious. You are troubled. You are disturbed about many things, about too much, about the too much that you're doing. You're frustrated. I get it. I see where you're coming from. But just because I get it and I see where you're coming from, don't make you right. He didn't say that, but that's what I just kind of inserted that in. I see where you coming from. This is your issue. And it ain't just with Mary. You got a lot on your plate. You worry about the children, you worried about the school, you worried about the business, you worried about your car getting clean, you worried about a lot of stuff. You disturbed about even more than what you just came to me with, right? You trying to serve, you serving in multiple ministries, you're trying to start a new business and the first one ain't took off yet. Like you doing a lot of things. And guess what? Can I tell y'all when we're doing a lot of things and we're not focused in on the one thing, anxiety begins to creep in. We become disgruntled. We become frustrated. We become irritable because it's too much going on and you need to sit and focus on the one thing, right? And I'm getting ahead of myself because let me tell you, after he told her that she was worried and troubled about many things, this is what he said. He said, but there's only one thing that is needed. One thing. How we doing way too much? And Jesus just told Martha when she was doing too much that there's only one thing that is needed. There's only one thing that is necessary. There is only one thing that is required. Here's the thing. He said that she was worried and troubled about much, but he never said what you're doing is not good. He never said that what you're doing is not necessary. He said, but there's one thing that is. And so we can have a lot on our plate, but what I believe he was saying was there was one thing that was priority in the moment, right? He really is that. He's so smooth with it. He's like, one thing is needed, one thing is necessary. And he said, Mary, the one that you're complaining about, the one that you are resenting, the one that you are upset about, the one that you are frustrated with, the one that you are irritated at, has chosen the good part. The With everything that we got going on right now, with me being here, Mary has chose the good part, and that will not be taken away from her, right? We have a lot of good things that we're doing, but they're misaligned. But we haven't prioritized them properly. That's why sometimes we can prioritize going to the gym. We can prioritize getting up, starting our day. We can prioritize client calls. We can prioritize social media, but we will fail to prioritize the one thing that is necessary for the day. It's sitting at his feet. It's hearing his word. This is what Mary was doing, right? She was sitting at Jesus' feet and she was hearing his word. And that was the one thing that was needed. That was the one thing that was necessary. It was the good part that was chosen that wouldn't be taken away from her. And so today we're talking about alignment. Everything that we do from this session and the PM session is going to be all about alignment. And alignment is like on the most simple definition is when you come into agreement with God's will, with God's plans, with God's priorities, and with God's timing for you, for your life, for your business, for your marriage, for your relationships, for your partnerships. It's agreement with God on all of those different areas. Okay. And so what Martha was doing was good, but she had become distracted from Jesus. Like she didn't take time. I tell people this all the time. Like we can be so focused on making things perfect, making things well, but but sometimes in the midst of that we begin to forsake relationship. And so you did all these good things for the person, but they're like, well, I would have just rather you had a conversation with me. I would just have rather to hung out with you. But thank you for throwing this big party for me, but you wasn't able to show up for me. Stay with baby, please. Thank you for doing all of these great things, but I would have rather for you to show up and be there with me. Intimacy, right? In parenthood. And I knew this because like I've seen and heard so many people say these things, especially like with fathers who are present, but they're not present. Same thing for mothers. It just depends on what type of parent you had, right? And so you can be a parent and you're physically in the room, right? But you're not present. You're not there. So Martha was literally in the same vicinity as Jesus, but she wasn't present with him. And that was the problem. She didn't focus on the thing that was necessary, the thing that was needed for the season. And so what we find is we have a lot on our plate. We're doing so many of the things, but there's one thing that is required. And we have to focus on the one thing. For some of you, that is getting back to the place of intimacy with God, because in the place of intimacy comes direction. In the place of intimacy, it comes peace. Like these things are promised. Direction is promised when you are intimate with God. He's going to give you the clarity that you've been seeking. But when we're trying to do it by ourselves, we're like, okay, what I need to do? We listening to all the gurus on social media telling us what we should do next. I remember because I've been there, y'all. When I first was like starting this as like a side hustle, I was listening, like, okay, what's this? Okay, they said use this. We got to post every day on social media. Okay, we need to do this. And okay, now we are doing reels. Now we got to show up as an expert on reels. And we need to post like 3 times a day if we really want to make it hit. And then every single day. And it's like, how you keeping up with all of that without a team? Right? We have to do all of these things. And I remember um a few years ago, I was sitting down, I was talking to a mentor. And we were talking about my business. And the day before, I had the revelation. And the Lord told me, but you're not going to have to do it like them. I know they said they had the blueprint, but not the one I have. They don't have the blueprint. They don't have me. Right. And so he said, but you're not going to have to do it like them. And so I'm talking to my mentor at the time. And I was like, Jesus said, I'm not going to have to do it like them. And she said, say less. We not doing it like them. Because sometimes we're trying to follow all the trends. I was just telling someone last night because she was asking me, like, how do you keep up with all of the new platforms that are coming out? How do you keep up with all of the new features of all of these platforms? Because every time you turn around, there's a software or a platform, they're hosting a new feature, they're implementing AI. AI got a new tool coming out every single week. She's like, how you keep up with everything? And I said, I don't. I'm not trying to learn all of the systems so that I can make myself be available for everybody. When it comes to project management tool, I know four because when I started off, I was a general VA and I did subcontracting. So whatever the people who I subcontracted for worked in, that's what I learned. I know four project management tools. I specialize in one. And I'm willing to learn as I go, but I don't try to say, oh, yeah, I know all 10 project management tools because project management isn't my main thing. It's a part of the service that I offer, but it's not the main thing that I offer. Right. So if I was just a project manager, then I probably would try to figure out or have a basic level of understanding of all of the project management tools. But even then, I would specialize in like two or three if I was just a project manager, right? And so I want to give y'all these five simple shifts, five simple shifts that will keep you from burning out. Now, in the PM session, I'm going to give you all the calendar hack, and we're actually going to walk through what I call the My Align Week framework. And so this is literally the exact same thing that I do with my clients. And we're going to do it as a whole group tonight. And you're going to be able to see before we get off the call, if you engage and you interact and you actually execute, you're going to be able to see all of the time on your calendar that you thought you didn't have. That's right, Velvet. The rules do not apply. The rules don't apply to you. The rules of the world do not apply to you. When it, like, if I have to choose between the rules of the world and the trends, I'm always going to choose obedience to God. I'm always going to choose his perfect will. I'm always going to choose being in alignment and agreement with his plans and his will and his purposes and his intentions and his promises for me. Okay. And so the five simple shifts, because my son is like starting to whine. Number one is start with the one thing, right? He's the one thing that we always want to start with, right? Seek ye first, right? Matthew 6:33. Start with the one thing. And then you can even apply that in business because a lot of us, we have 15 goals for the year. How are we going to make progress on the one? Focus in on the one. What I love about, I'm in a mentorship program. And one of the things I love about the mentorship is because my mentors, they're like, hey, for 90 days, pick a focus and go all in on that focus. And the fruit that is produced by you focusing on the one thing is priceless. It's priceless because then you realize, like, well, I should have been doing this. Like, imagine even just for 90 days focusing on the one thing. For you, it could be like, I'm just focusing on strategic planning for 90 days. For you, it could be like, hey, I'm just going to focus on focus, right? I'm going to read all of the books on focus. I'm going to do all of the things regarding focus. Anything that I read, anything that I watch, it needs to be on this, right? And so that's one of the things. So start with one thing. So clarify what your primary goal is. We almost at 90 days left of the year. I need you to clarify your primary goal. You can have three, but what's the first thing? And then I want you all to align your week, and we're going to do that tonight. Okay. But in order to shift from where you are right now to prevent you from burning out, or for those of you who are like, I need to recover from burnout, one of the things you need to do is get back in alignment. Get back in alignment. I said last night in one of the slides how overwhelm, exhaustion, anxiety is proof that somewhere along the way you got out of alignment. And so get back into alignment. And you can start by aligning your week. Yes, only working 20 hours in your business per week. Listen, align your week. Master your week. Tell your time what to do instead of allowing other people's priorities to flood your calendar, and then you are in a place of disobedience because you haven't yet to do the thing God told you to do because you're serving too much, you're doing too much. You're doing all of these good things, but not the better thing, right? And then the third thing is set boundaries and enforce them. Because a lot of us like to have standards, we like to have boundaries, but we allow people to play in our face. Okay, all three of them up. And when my oldest up, he be enforcing the rules, but he be screaming doing it. Okay, I got two more, two more, and we out of here. The third one is set the boundaries and enforce them. If you have a boundary but you don't enforce it, it's not a boundary. It's not a boundary. You have to actually enforce. You have to actually say no. And I know some of us have. I don't have a problem with saying no, but a lot of us have a problem with telling people no. Not right now. Why? It's not aligned. No, I'm not going to be on the call. No, I'm not going to show up. No, I'm not going to attend this event. Why? Because I've come into agreement with God's plans, with God's priorities, with God's timing for my life. And if I say yes to you, I say no to that. And I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And so for me, one of the things that helped me is I put a boundary around my time. And because I have boundaries, so if I was to show you, and I don't have it pulled up, but I'll show you on tonight's session, if I was to show you like my aligned week calendar, you will see all of my color coded boundaries on my calendar where I know people can't touch that. I can't say yes to this off the top of my head. I will know because I already know at a certain time on a certain day I have this block. So if someone's like, "Hey girl, can we go have lunch on Wednesday at 4 p.m.?" I'm actually no, we can't. I already know. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to see. I'm not even in the business of okay, let me try to move something around to make you fit in. Like I'm not finna play Tetris. Why? Because then I'm coming out of agreement with his perfect plan and his priorities. So you start your day and you master your week. You align your week with what he told you to do. You start your week off in his presence. You start your day off in his presence and you prioritize that every single day so that you can stay in alignment and you can set and keep the boundaries that you have put in place. And then simplify. A lot of us we try to we're already doing too much and then we complicate it. When really we just need to simplify. One of the things I love about what I do when I audit a client's systems or their tech stack, I'm gonna simplify it because why do you got 8 different things on your tech stack and all of your income that's coming into your business is going to your expenses? Like, let's simplify. There's something that you don't need right now. Many people pay for Google Suite, Google Workspace, and don't even realize all of the different features and plugins and things that are associated with that. Y'all, we love us some Zoom, But Google Meet can get the job done. This year, I put all of my clients off of Zoom and put them on Google Meet. Now, if they just chose to keep Zoom, that was on them, but they were also paying for Google Meet. And Google Meet can do the things. I literally just paid for Zoom on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, I got the receipt. Tuesday night, I just paid for Zoom so I can do this webinar. But other than that, I have been using Google Chat or Google Meet, both of them. I've been using Google Meet for my meetings and Google Chat to communicate with some VAs that I manage. Why? Because we don't need all of these different systems and we're paying all of these expenses. Like simplify. And when you are simplifying things, it prevents what I like to call and now it slipped my mind because I'm listening to what they're talking about. Um when you're task context and task switching. So when you simplify, it prevents the context switching. And what that simply means is like when you're going from one task to another task or one thought to another thought, like there's a time in your brain that it takes for you to actually switch from the one thing, right? And so sometimes like you can be working on something and somebody will come in and talk to you and you'll be like, what? Because then you just context switch from the thing that you were working on to what they were saying. And then now you got to spend time to get back into the groove of things. Right. And so when you simplify, right, imagine having 10 different tools and you have to open up all of these tabs in your browser every single day because you're going from Asana to Slack to Google Workspace and Google Docs. And then you're going over here because you're in Voxer with this person. And then you over here because you in social media and you didn't want to buy a platform that'll help you schedule everything from one place. So now you're posting manually on Instagram, and then you over here on LinkedIn posting manually, and then you over here on Facebook trying to post manually, and you trying to figure out why you exhausted. Simplify. Even with the number of platforms you on. When I realized like Instagram does not bring me a return on my investment for the time that I have to invest to not only post there, but to design the graphics and to schedule everything, I'm like, I don't have no RO, I don't have an ROI for this. There is nothing I'm getting in return for posting here, from showing up here consistently. And so I moved myself right on over to LinkedIn. And LinkedIn here for me every day, every single day. And they talk back. Okay. They talk back over there on LinkedIn. I don't know what y'all have heard, but the people on LinkedIn, they talk back to me. They engage. If I'm like, how I have more followers on LinkedIn than I do on Instagram, and I just got serious on LinkedIn this year. This year, every day I'm like, oh, this person has been following you and is inviting you to connect. Okay, LinkedIn. I was trying to do Instagram, TikTok. I like threads too. I like talking to the girlies on threads. Um, but go where there's a return on your investment. Simplify. If your people not on TikTok, why are you talking on TikTok every day? Unless you have a platform that's just pushing you out to everybody to expand your reach, then fine. But if you're manually posting on 5 different social media platforms, you need to simplify. And then the last thing is outsource where you can. Outsource. For some of you, that may just be, go on Fiverr if you need to. Start with where you are. I learned that this year. At the beginning of the year, I learned to start with where I am when it comes to social media because a lot of times we're looking at someone else's 10 year. That's what I love about the story in Exodus 18 with Jethro and Moses, because one of the people that he told you all to partner with or to delegate to, he said people who are not covetous, people who do not covet. That was one of the standards that Jethro gave to Moses when it came to who he should delegate to. And so when I'm saying outsource where you can, right? Don't try to start at someone's tenure and you're on year one. So here you are, you're like, okay, they're posting every day. They have this camera set up, this lighting, and you're like, and you're waiting to be perfect because they have become the standard of perfection for you. And you don't even realize that if you scroll all the way down on their first post, their day one, their graphics did not look like that. They did not have that camera. They did not have that setup. They did not have that lighting. But here you are you're trying to meet their standard that you set. It's not even their standard. You're trying to meet that, and that's why you stuck. You're like, well, I'm waiting. It's not perfect. Listen, I used to be like that. I used to be back in 2018, 2019. I was like, I knew I was need to be doing content and things of that nature, but I was like, I'm waiting for the right camera. I need the light. I got the ring light, and then I found another excuse. And it was always a new excuse. I would record a video and then I would go back and I would listen to the video. I'm like, I don't like how I said that. Oh, I messed up that word. Let me re-record it. Right? Got 7 different videos of the exact same message and still didn't even post it. Time wasters. Tonight, we are identifying the time wasters because perfectionism is a time waster. Procrastination is a time waster. One of my children is crying. Okay, guys, that's my 5. So, 5 simple shifts to keep you from burning out is start with the one thing, align your week, master your week, set boundaries and enforce them, simplify, and then outsource where you can. And always think when we're talking about that rocking horse, the thing that's always in motion but never making progress, like don't be that person, right? And then also remember what Jesus told Martha, right? You are troubled. You are worried about many things. You are distracted. I need you to focus on the one thing because Mary has chosen the better part. She's chosen the good part. And so, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And we can kind of go into them unless someone comes in here crying, and then I'm gonna have to address them tonight. But if you have questions, drop them in the chat. If you have questions, you can also email them to me, and I'm going to respond to them. And yes, meet me over here tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are actually going to be mastering our week, aligning our week with God's plans, with his priorities, with his purposes, and with his timing. Okay. And so thank you all so much for joining me, for bearing with me. I'm super excited for tonight, y'all. I absolutely love what we're going to get into tonight because it's literally going to help you design a week that reflects your priorities and your commitments. Okay. And so, if you didn't get the homework, last night's homework was to gather your calendars, all of your calendars, whether they're on your phone, in your notebook, on your desktop, in Google, in iCloud, Outlook, gather all of your calendars and then let me know. Well, you don't have to let me know, but bring your three goals for the rest of the year. Not even for next year. Your top 3 goals that you want to accomplish before the end of the year. Bring those. And I will see you all. Listen, we're gonna talk about the one-on-one sessions too, Geneva. We're gonna talk about those as well tonight. And so I will see you all tonight. Okay. Talk soon. Bye.